Someone might survive this ban draft and shock us all.
Yeah, at this point, it's a matter of when, not if we see something new here out of the Asia region. Of course, our first looks here at picks and bans as we are ready to get underway. Loyalty going to take on AAAd to kick off this Asia group stage here. I see the Gambit hovers already. No big shocker there, folks. Gambit taken out of the equation, off the table here for Krakoa. And it's a Devil Dino save from AAAd, so they definitely want to get that dinosaur feet planted on the battlefield early on here.
Yeah, that's been the recurring pattern in every region. Gambit taken away first. One team will get their hands on the Devil Dino at the very least. Loyalty going for a little bit of a different approach here. Taking away the Black Cat. Usually that second or third ban slot usually is taken up by either the Mantis or the Luna Snow, but Loyalty might have an inkling that AAAd do have a very strong Black Cat player. Keep in mind as well, over in OCE as well, there has been a lot of emphasis on Black Cat. No other region has banned or saved Black Cat as much as OCE, but Loyalty now getting their first save with the Luna Snow over the Devil Dino.
Yeah, and it's going to be a one-sided dino for AAAd as well. Curious if Loyalty is going to try to make it a one-sided Black Cat if they've got somebody that particularly fancies her. It's Mantis bans from both sides of the board, though, on that mid-round simultaneous ban. And a White Fox save here, too. Dan, we were talking about this. You were just talking about this, but we talked about it before the show as well. A lot of White Fox showing up in China, whether it's banned or something they like to go for here. It looks like, though, maybe no Felicia Hardy in this first matchup. Though I do want to say that Luna save, very interesting. She does have some potential this season for sure. A solid strategist choice, and the damage potential is kind of wild. She can really take you by surprise.
It's also such a great anti-dive measure, right? You got the Luna Fox and the Luna Fox team up. Yeah, Luna Snow and White Fox. There you go. That's the combination of a team up, right? Extra CC, extra peel potential on the side of Loyalty. It means that if AAAd do want to run a more dive-oriented composition, it's going to be a little bit tougher to get a hand on the backline as AAAd finalized their save with the Phoenix. So it's going to be a lot of that hit scan potential coming in for AAAd. Do they go for a more poke slash front to back style of play? Or do they still feel like, hey, we can still run dive here because Daredevil is available for both sides?
Yeah, there's some big openings here, so it doesn't quite answer the question of what they're going to bring to the table, though AAAd with that Phoenix save may be leaning a little bit more hit scan. Obviously, they've done their homework, though. Phoenix has emerged as a very, very powerful hero this stage and this season in general. We've seen a lot of her so far, so yeah, I imagine at some point, Rocco hovering the Phoenix right now, maybe going to see a little bit of that shine through here, but yeah, interesting ban phase to start things off. Nothing too crazy. The White Fox save, definitely one of the more interesting parts of that draft, but overall a lot of what we've seen from the other regions as well here, though AAAd definitely locking down some of the newer heroes for Loyalty. No Black Cat, no Devil Dinosaur available for them, so gonna see how they respond here when the game's two newest heroes are out of the equation. But again, it is a rundown here on Krakoa for map 1. A Loyalty, no maps won in the preseason, so you have to imagine they are hungry to try and get this one.
Oh, Loyalty are getting a little silly with it right now. They're setting up a penny trap, setting up the penny mines, trying to get a kidnap. It looks like it, because Joey is on the Doctor Strange. So Loyalty are going to start things off with the portal, but not to jump through, but to maybe fish for an elimination on the likes of AAAd, pull them into those penny mines with the Invisible Woman, and Joey's close. Is he going to land it, though? That's the big question. Are they going to strike first here?
Yeah, gotta have some jimmies here, as this is the opening play of map number 1 for this entire stage. Portal is good, but AAAd wise up to it. They are not gonna run headlong into it, rotating onto the point here and taking up some positioning around that capture point. It is online and ready to go here. Joey is on the point to start things off for Loyalty. They are gonna get right in the mix there. Tuba picking up the Devil Dinosaur this time, a very influential vanguard for AAAd, so glad to see him on the newest hero, ready for that Devil Dinosaur to cook here. It is gonna be AAAd, though, making the first cap, just able to apply a little bit of pressure and get Loyalty off the point.
Yeah, it's a little surprising. Loyalty had the entirety of the map space besides the mission area. They were completely surrounding AAAd, but AAAd take that opportunity to get control of the mission area as Bamyoung and Joey team up to find 2 already.
Yeah, quick double KO, and we've heard some things about Joey as well.
Right.
Heard that he is a big player for this Loyalty team, but man, that's a solid opener here for them. In spite of the portal not working out, they at least get the first cap and already looking for that forward pressure.
And Loyalty have to keep that pressure on, right? AAAd would want to look for some sort of entryway win in. As soon as they get their ultimates online, it's going to be up to AAAd if they're able to create space to facilitate some sort of retake. Loyalty not going for the aggressive move, instead hanging back near the mission area. Duba's going to try to contest his high ground.
Yeah, just trying to get their feet planted here and at least try to take this first capture point. Get that ball rolling a little bit for Loyalty. I like it. They've got the time. They've got the breathing room here to make it happen. But AAAd already dusted off and ready to go here. Jay-Z a little bit low on the Luna, but will survive as Loyalty almost 50% of the way captured here. Overhead, you can see it. And Jay-Z on that Luna first KO. Headshot onto Rocco. Jean Grey taking out the equation here, but Bumyoung gonna fight through as well. Loyalty's Phoenix picking up one onto Tuba and holding that double beast Rampage, so one all out the equation. Quasino gonna battle back on the Rocket Raccoon, finds a quick one, but not enough to put a dent here in this Loyalty defense.
Huge 1v1 win coming in from Jay-Z to take down the flanking Rocco. Nosebite tried to pick up the pieces, try to get some sort of trade elimination, but unfortunately it just was not enough. Now Loyalty with all this momentum, we're already at 70% and climbing. Loyalty, however, do have a few ultimates to work with, most notably the Luna Snow and the White Fox, both having their ultimates online. Snake is going to try to force one out, but Jay-Z gets exploded.
Yeah, satellite overhead here for AAAd. Snake gonna pick up a double KO on the Ultron. Necrobe going so low, forced to unleash that Kumio, going back down to normal White Fox form, and Necrobe taken down by Rocco on the tree here. Shots from above. AAAd, 5 ults online as they are gonna make this flip here. 20% captured for AAAd, but Loyalty up to 94 on their first cap. Very good early looks for him here on map 1.
Might have been a miscommunication on Loyalty. They saw the Ultron ultimate coming off, but Jay-Z held onto the Fate of Both Worlds. It was all up to Necrobe at that point, because Jay-Z already going down meant that Necrobe had to be the sole strategist to keep everyone on Loyalty sustained, and AAAd, huge fight win. They only use Snake on the Rage of Ultron. They can extend this aggression with No Smite on the ult.
Yeah, the target prio very solid for AAAd. They know where the threats are. They're able to dispatch them, and they're able to make that flip here. 50% and still on the move for them here, but it is basically going to be one fight for Loyalty to take this capture point. If they can take out most of AAAd, but they're going to have to get through these ults here. Eye of Agamotto from Joey in response to that CYA over on the side of AAAd, and it is AAAd coming up big in the KO feed. Jay-Z going to throw down that Fate of Both Worlds, trying to keep the team alive, or what's left of it, but even he will fall, and Necrobe still going back to spawn as well here. Game mode, basically everyone from Loyalty reset, and now AAAd a quick battle back, 75% of the way there.
Ooh, ice cold coming from No Smite, landing that elimination. Tuba and Mandu still have their ultimates, so Tuba can easily use the Banhammer on one of the backline members of AAAd. Mandu can extend fights with that Kumio Unleashed. Loyalty, however, don't have a safety net. They don't have a strategist ult to rely on. They're going to be all up to Loyalty to create space with this Galactic Legend, and then an Axis tries to go in with the Feast, but Gambo's already taken dangerously low, and he's already gone.
Yeah, goes for the Galactic Legend, and it just does not pay off. Cannot find the KOs, and with no Umbrella, no Strat ults online, there's no way for Loyalty to get back in the door. So AAAd turn things around, but dang, a very close fight on point number 1. Loyalty, maybe the best we have seen out of them so far.
Yeah, but we have to rebound to where it all went wrong for Loyalty in that first round, right? Jay-Z getting exploded by the Rage of Ultron. But, maybe it might have been a miscommunication between Necrobe and JC7 in terms of who wanted to use their ults first. And with Jay-Z gone, AAAd complete the retake, and they were able to just never look back. They just kept going all in, dive right onto Loyalty, and Loyalty just never had room, never had an opportunity to fight back there. As I don't know if the portal was close to being off cooldown, but either way, huge win for AAAd. Loyalty, if they were able to retain the site, there was a world where they were able to secure maybe like an overtime win somehow. But right now in round number 2, Loyalty, we saw them do it in round 1. They're going to do it again here.
Yeah, gonna have to look for AAAd to be wise to it again. Maybe focusing up on Tuba here. Portal gonna open up from Joey. There's an Ultron going right through, and Necrobe gonna take him down. Snake offline already. A good early pick here, especially considering Snake is holding AAAd's only ultimate at the moment here. So Loyalty now gonna push their way to the point, but it is gonna be a bit of a fight here. I already see Tuba on that big dino right in the middle of the capture circle. So AAAd gonna make him work for it from square one here. Joey though, big Maelstrom of Madness onto it. Tuba will take the dinosaur out here. Snake should be back and on the point here, but it looks like Loyalty gonna grab first cap here.
Yeah, huge pick, right? Snake holding onto the Rage of Ultron means that he's not going to be able to use it in the first fight. Loyalty are able to get early control of the mission area, but with Rocco finding a pick onto Access, it might get a lot more difficult. JZ7 also going down. AAAd are going to retake just like they did in round number 1. They give Loyalty some of that mission area points, but then AAAd just rip it right back.
Yeah, and again, it's kind of like we saw on point number 1 for AAAd. They're bringing some kind of umbrella, something to protect themselves, whether it's a strategist ult, whether it's that freedom charge from No Smite that they used. Loyalty, meanwhile, it seems like they keep getting caught with no strat ults, no way to really defend themselves when they're on the point. So yes, very aggressive on the attack, Loyalty looking good, but once they have control of the point, they've been having some trouble finding their footing here. So now AAAd, lots of forward pressure here, looking to try and push Loyalty all the way back to their front door here as AAAd gonna overtake, but somebody from Loyalty is on the point, looking for a little bit of a cheeky swap here. It might be Anxis there on the Captain America, but that capture progress gonna go right back down here as the rest of Loyalty gonna file in here.
It's going to be so hard for Loyalty. Ancestor is really on the Captain America just to try to disrupt the backline. Claus is going to pop the ultimate because he knows that Bumhyung doesn't have the Ensong Inferno. So this is a free CYA coming in for AAAd. Maybe it might have been a little bit of a misjudgment coming in from Loyalty for Bumhyung to use that Ensong Inferno, but at the very least, JZ7 is there with the Fate of Both Worlds to give some leeway for Loyalty to hop right on in, but AAAd, they've got that Rage of Ultron coming up soon. They've got Mandu on the Kumio Unleashed very soon as well. Loyalty, I feel like this fight might be doomed already.
Yeah, I mean, some good pressure from that Fate of Both Worlds, but it runs out, and Loyalty's time quickly running out here one by one. They are going to go offline. AAAd still in control of the capture point, 70%, and Joey going to fight back there, does manage to take down Rocco, but that's about all Loyalty is going to get here. They will back off, but they're going to bring some ultimates to the table here, I think.
Loyalty needed to find eliminations during that Fate of Both Worlds, but they could not find anything. AAAd knew what had to be done. They just had to stall out on the mission area. Loyalty never even got the flip, so AAAd keeping that control means that Loyalty, they're going to final fight territory, and they've already lost out on one. But at least he has cocooned.
Yeah, missing one member here. That Adam gonna get right back up. But Tuba, though, taking down the other strategist for Loyalty here. Necro will get back up and running. Don't know how close they are to a Karmic Revival, but feels like miles away here as AAAd coming up big at the KO feed.
Huge.
Yet again here, Rocco's Phoenix absolutely deadly in the most critical moment here. Ensong Inferno will crash down, grab the double KO, as well as that Freedom Charge for AAAd. Plenty of safe space to fight here, thanks to Rocco. Triple KO there for the Jean Grey player, and almost all of Loyalty going offline, and AAAd close it out. A comeback there on point number 2, and they'll lock in Krakoa.
Yep, AAAd just knew what Loyalty were doing, and they executed it perfectly. Every time Loyalty went for an aggressive move, AAAd, they knew what had to be done. They just had to hang on back, wait for their own win conditions, and then run right through Loyalty. There were a few times where Loyalty had moments to take over the map, but it just felt like the execution kind of is where it faltered a little bit, right? JC7 using the Fate of Both Worlds to go in, while AAAd were still getting their win condition online. They never had it when JZ7 went for the Fate of Both Worlds to let Loyalty entry into the mission area, and then AAAd were able to just hang on back for just a little bit more, wait for Snake to use the Rage of Ultron, because huge props to Snake. He has gotten an insane amount of value with that Rage of Ultron, not just in space, but also in eliminations. You don't have to always get eliminations, as long as you give space, right? The map control is the most important part here in professional Marvel Rivals. If you're able to utilize most of that map surface area, you have a big chance of winning out on those fights.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you said, it's not always about cashing in KOs with those ultimates. Sometimes it is about the pressure that comes from that ult just being activated. You have to give respect to something like Rage of Ultron. Gotta find somewhere to hide from it, because it can take you down faster than you expect. I like what we are seeing from Loyalty here, though. You know, there's some clear go signals for this team. They're working together, but the problem is they're taking engagements with no protection. They've got no strategist ults to keep them up and running. You know, you saw there on one of those last fights there at the end of point number 2, They went in with the Fate of Both Worlds, but they couldn't find anything else. Everybody else just having to play neutral. So, you know, not able to convert to KOs there. And then it's all just downhill from there. AAAd walking away with it pretty consistently and pretty comfortably, but definitely better looks for Loyalty than we saw in the preseason.
Yeah, at least Loyalty put up a really, really solid fight. Like, there were times where Loyalty did the right moves, but unfortunately, they just could not keep making those right moves, you know, right? Loyalty made 1 or 2 small mistakes, and that really spelled their demise here on Krakoa, but now with their opportunity to choose a map here in map number 2, which one do they go for? Do they go for Convoy? Do they go for Convergence? We'll figure that out right after a short break, so we'll find out soon after this break.
Fortune. You crossed my path! Gotcha!
Hellfire!
Well, okay, a strong start for AAAd. However, Loyalty looking a lot sharper than the last time we saw them, so something's brewing here, something might be exciting going to this next one. They do get map selection here. Dan, how do you think they've been going so far?
I mean, Loyalty looked really good, at least in the first fight, right? They were able to get the first cap, but unfortunately, AAAd were just able to complete the retake time and time again. And I feel like somewhere that Loyalty could really work on coming into map number 2 is that resource management, right? Loyalty, they tried to get a little too greedy with those resources, at least in that first round on Krakoa, right? Having JZ7 go down to the Rage of Ultron just meant that Loyalty had to literally just start scrambling for something to rely on, and it had to be the White Fox ultimate, and that really doesn't really do a whole lot if AAAd aren't gonna engage in that a big little skirmish at all. So maybe resource management might be something that they should work on, but coming into map number 2, we'll see what Loyalty decide to cook up here as AAAd starting to ride that momentum, right? They finished 5th, 6th in the middle of the pack in preseason. Now coming into stage 1, they really want to lock things in. Maybe at gun for that 3rd place spot at the very least. Who knows?
Ooh, Heart of Heaven. Okay, Kunlun, Heart of Heaven. Nice, exciting. Want to see it? Different map, not too commonly played, but really dictates its own kind of meta.
Yeah, I was gonna say, this does surprise me. We haven't seen a lot of love for Heart of Heaven so far in a stage 1. I don't know off the top of my head how many times it's picked, but I probably have enough fingers to maybe count that out. So yeah, definitely interesting map pick coming in from Loyalty. But yeah, like you were saying, Dan, really, really good looks for this Loyalty team. It looks like they are communicating though. You can see that they're moving together, some good rotations here and there. Not getting spawn held either. AAAd tried.
Yes.
They tried to put that forward pressure on and they just couldn't do it.
But now coming into Heart of Heaven, right? How does Loyalty decide to operate this here? Because they chose the defensive side. AAAd now on the attack. Do they want to get a little aggressive with this Black Cat? I'm sure they're thinking about running it, but we'll see if AAAd do want to get the first save on the Black Cat. Maybe? No, it's going to be the Devil Dinosaur, as AAAd will look to try and secure it one-sided, unless Loyalty do want to take it for themselves.
Yeah, I mean, feels right to me. Krakoa has kind of proof positive that AAAd don't necessarily need the Black Cat to take the win, though especially on point number 1, very, very close. Black Cat ban does come through from Loyalty anyway here, so no Felicia Hardy for AAAd, and they banned it out against Loyalty as well, so maybe not going to see a lot of Black Cat here in this matchup. Luna Snow save for Loyalty once again. Jay-Z did pick up a couple of cheeky picks on Krakoa on her, so no shocker to see them going right back to that strat, but there will be no Devil Dinosaur for for Loyalty as well. Yet again here, simultaneous ban's gonna come through, and you know, I feel like Loyalty, they just got caught in a couple of weird positions on that first map. It's either they went into a fight with no strategist ults, no way to protect themselves as they were fighting, or they went in with just like a Fate of Both Worlds, or just the White Fox. So, you know, kind of need to sync up those ults for sure. Gonna be looking for that to change here, but what's not changing is that Mantis ban across the board. No Mantis here for map 2.
So far, it's been the exact same, but yeah, well, you talked about it, right? It's going to come down to the resource management. How much ultimates are you willing to invest in these fights? How much do you realize that, hey, if we're using too much, maybe we should try to limit on what we use so that we can extend these fights for even longer, maybe try to get a second rotation, maybe try to stall out AAAd's ultimates, but so far, I think this ban draft has been literally the exact same. AAAd used their final ban on the Black Cat. Maybe they're just like, all right, we just want to diff you guys again. We're just gonna go through the same exact ban draft, and hopefully that the mechanics will take over yet again.
Yeah, I'm going to go right back to that Phoenix as well. Influential, not just on map 1 here in this matchup, but all throughout stage 1 so far. Top pick for sure here. So AAAd want to make sure they can bring her to the table, as Loyalty have the final say in this draft phase here. They are going to take defense first as we load up into Heart of Heaven. AAAd going to be on the attack. It is a White Fox ban against AAAd to round things out. So no Kumiho available for AAAd, but yeah, Dan, I feel like a lot of this basically played out the exact same way, and, you know, considering map 1 was close, at least on the first half there, not too shocking to see Loyalty maybe wanted to go down the same path in terms of picks and bans, but we'll have to see if they change things up in the comp they bring to the table here, because, again, they are going to be on defense first, so they're going to look to set the pace here and determine just how far they're going to have to go if they want to take that first Ignite map win.
We'll see if Loyalty are also relying on this Heart of Heaven map choice, right? This is a very unpopular map at the current moment, not just in preseason, but just here in Stage 1 as a whole in every single region. Not a whole lot of Heart of Heaven has been really picked out for many of these teams, so maybe Loyalty have been cooking something up here? Maybe, but so far, Loyalty are going to utilize a Necrobe on the Adam Warlock once again. We saw it pop up towards the tail end of that first map, but here, they're, especially on the defensive side first, they're going to try to rely on this Karmic Revival being that win condition. AAAd, once they identify that there is an Adam Warlock in play, AAAd should be accelerating this tempo very, very quickly.
Yeah, it feels like there's a lot of tricky parts here for the offensive team. You know, like when you're getting closer to checkpoint 2, there's a lot of places defense can pop out of, give you some jump scares. So maybe gonna look to throw AAAd off kilter here, but doors are open. We are underway here. AAAd take map number 1, now 1 away from locking in this first match win here in the group stage. Tuba picking up the Devil Dinosaur yet again here and leading the charge for the rest of the team, as AAAd gonna look to find a way to get in the front door.
And so far, Loyalty doing a good job at keeping AAAd at bay, making sure that they show presence in this little area of the map while also trying to contest this high ground. Joey is the one leading the charge, but he gets isolated somehow. None of the strategists were looking at him because they were too busy trying to survive the aggression coming in from the rest of the AAAd squad. And while everyone on Loyalty are bunkered down in here, at the very least, Tuba gets traded, but he'll be right back.
Yeah, backs against the wall here for Loyalty, though they are able to hold it off. 60 seconds away now, and AAAd still circling that capture point, but no way to get a tick quite yet here. X is going pretty low, though, on the Groot. Needs a little bit of a heal. Will get it from Jay-Z on the Luna Snow here, and they're going to look to try and convert to some KOs here, but now AAAd finally able to get a little bit of progress moving. Rocco going up for the Insong Inferno, and Tuba in the jaws here, taking down Anxis. Jay-Z will respond, though. It's going to be 1-for-1 as No Smite going to go back to square one on the Captain America, but Loyalty got to get on the point here and stop this progress. AAAd almost 2 ticks away. They'll find it here as Snake goes for the Rage of Ultron. Jay-Z's finally got that dance floor ready to go. Fate of both worlds. That will let Loyalty get right back in the fight here and at least hold off this third and final tick. There is a portal here for Loyalty from Anxis right in the front door where AAAd is trying to head here, but they're not ready to give this up yet. It is going to be CYA as well from Quasit, and Rocco going to get that damage buff and take down Bom Hyung. Wins the 1v1 here, make it a double KO, but now the Karmic Revival comes through from Necrobe. Loyalty all back up and ready to fight this thing out. Half of AAAd's time away now as they've got some support ults ready to go here and are just looking for a way to try and close out this capture point.
Oh, but Loyalty really held down the fort very well, using this small room that Duba is in right now to bunker down on what AAAd wanted to go for. If AAAd do dive into that small room, it gets very difficult to get out, but at the very least, AAAd looking all but likely to secure this first checkpoint. It got a little bit difficult for AAAd, but at the very least are able to secure it in the end. Great hold coming in for Loyalty, being able to survive long enough so that they have their win condition online with Necrobe on the Adam Warlock ultimate. It looked good for Loyalty, and now with 2.5 minutes added to AAAd's time bank, Loyalty just need to get those ultimates stacked up once more. Necrobe is staying on the Adam Warlock, which is a little bit surprising here.
Yeah, I mean, not a bad start for Loyalty defensively. You know, AAAd gain that 230 buff. They go back up to just 4 minutes, so they don't build up the time bank here. So Loyalty still have an opportunity to get ahead in this second capture point here, and they are going to rely on this being a little funky, right? You got this bridge overhead, you got the staircase off to Tuba's left there, so there's some places defense can really hold up here. Nice jaws, though, from Tuba, going to drag Anxis back to the rest of the team, and they will finish the meal here. Tuba getting the last hit in on that Stranger. He's still holding that eye of Agamotto too, so they take one ult out the equation here. That's the go signal for AAAd here, but Joey on the Magneto finds the mid-air dunk onto Snake, so Ultron shot down, sent all the way back to square number one. Solid stuff from Loyalty here. No Smite, though, gonna try to get AAAd in the fight. Freedom Charge on the ground, plenty of overhealing for him and plenty of safety that he can go in and take down Joey. Rocco will find Gamebo as well, so White Fox off the table, making another double KO here for Rocco's Phoenix. Absolutely game-changing. No Smite as well, going deep for that double KO, taking out Loyalty's backline, and AAAd on the move here, looking for checkpoint 2.
I'm not sure if Bom Young had to use the Insong Inferno during that fight to try to get the health reset, but he really needs to save that Insong Inferno. Quasit already has the CYA with Gembo on the White Fox ultimate already burned away. It's going to force out Jay-Z's ultimate as Tuba's just stomping around. Quasit on there with the CYA. That's going to allow Rocco to get a double. Loyalty have no other option but to tuck tail and run. That Fate of Both Worlds dance floor needs to be shut down and quite literally out of business.
Yeah, the club unfortunately closed there for Loyalty. They're going to have to take the fight all the way to checkpoint number 3. But that last little scrap there on point 2, just a matter of kind of eating away at AAAd's time. Not able to get back up to 4 minutes, so they have at least put a dent in the time bank here, but still 3 minutes on the clock for AAAd to try and lock this down. Fate of Both Worlds is ready to go for Mondu, but that's all they're going to bring to the table on offense here. Meanwhile, Necro over onto the Ultron, going to try to get some of that rage going for Loyalty as well.
I mean, once Necrobe uses the ultimate, right, on the Ultron, it's going to be easily countered by Mandu, and then No Smite or Snake could easily come up huge by giving AAAd more of that momentum, because Joey not very close to that Meteor M. That was the reason why Snake's ultimate got shut down, but with a quick pick onto Tuba, this might be the go button for Loyalty's retake.
Yeah, battling back, Joey there on the Magneto, escapes the jaws of Devil Dinosaur and gets the KO, but Tuba right back up off of that rocket PRV. So everyone from AAAd still here and still bearing witness to this Rage of Ultron. Shut down though by Jay-Z on the Luna, sniped right out of the sky, doing a good job clocking down Snake in these last couple fights. Bombgun goes for the Insong Inferno, able to get a little bit of pressure back AAAd off of the cart for now, but they'll fight right back. Quasin picking up one on the Rocket Raccoon, and it's a freedom charge from No Smite to get them right back onto the mission vehicle, and now 2 minutes just a few meters away from closing out this map.
I mean, that freedom charge needed to come on right then and there for Loyalty, but with an excess going down, he's going to have to use it now in order to create some space for Loyalty. Joey threatening with the Meteor M, but none of those key ultimates on AAAd are going to be up anytime soon. Access almost gets the BRB down. Tuba's now going to create space for AAAd as they are going to try to force away Loyalty, and with so many of those health bars going down, most notably on Joey, because he needs to be careful. He's not going to get much value with this Meteor. I'm a little worried if Joey needs to swap out, but I feel like right now it is way too late as Quasit is getting closer and closer to that CYA. Jay-Z needs to easily match it, but with AAAd with that Wombo combo, with the end song into the CYA, is it going to be enough damage? And it is! Fate of Worlds is gone!
More than enough to overwhelm the one strategist all Loyalty had, propping themselves up here. KO feed painted orange one more time as AAAd look to close it out in the last 60 seconds. Overhead, though, it's Necro with that Rage of Ultron, but most of the team is down here, no backup as the meters tick away for AAAd, and they will close it out with still 58 seconds left on the clock. Some good defensive looks all throughout that run for Loyalty, but they just weren't able to find a way to really dig their heels in and grind that thing to a halt.
While we did talk about Loyalty playing pretty good as a team, AAAd are just playing better. That's just been the main takeaway, right? AAAd being able to withstand what Loyalty are doing, because when you look at Loyalty play during that entire defensive side, it just never looked together, right? It felt like parts of the team were doing their own thing, especially on the defensive side, right? There was like Joey up in the high ground getting picked off because Loyalty didn't really pay much attention to that high ground because they were too busy staying alive in that little small room. AAAd, however, you saw how well they were able to shut down JZZ7 on the Fate of Both Worlds. Being able to burst the healing per second potential of that Fate of Both Worlds is very, very difficult to do. But with AAAd having access to the CYA and the Ensong Inferno combo, that burst damage and then a little bit extra from AAAd's team play was enough to shut it down. But like, Loyalty, they need to play a little bit more together. They need to be a little more aware of the potential ultimates that AAAd could be throwing at them, because Quasid got way too many free CYAs, mainly because Loyalty's Endsong Inferno just never was used to shut it down.
Yeah, it does feel like they need to contest those rocket ults a little more, and I feel like they did kind of fumble a little bit on checkpoint 1. Like you said, that back room, they backed up into there a couple of times, and it just feels like they weren't ready to defend that first point with their whole chest, and then from there, it's just a shooting gallery for AAAd. But speaking of shooting gallery, Necro coming out the gate, finds one pick on Tarako to start things off. Good look for offense for sure. Gotta try to capitalize on it, though, as Loyalty now taking the attack, and yeah, I mean, it just felt like they had the potential to shave off more of AAAd's time at the beginning, and with them only ending with 58 seconds, who knows if they would have managed to push all the way to the end if there was more of a fight here. But we have a fight on our hands here. AAAd in a little bit of trouble here. Tuba gonna have to make that big dino hop back to the back line for now to get freshened back up and get ready to take that front line one more time.
AAAd are just everywhere. Everywhere you look, there is a member of AAAd threatening your life, and so far, No Spite just gets a quick little double in the back line. Loyalty just fall apart quickly. AAAd taking a different approach from what Loyalty did. Loyalty, if you remember, they all bunkered down in that small room, try to lure someone from AAAd into there so that they can get a cheeky little elimination if the dive gets a little bit too overheated. But AAAd, on their defense, look how spread out they are. They're taking control of that high ground in the middle. They're taking control of those side rooms as well. And again, everywhere you look, there's a member of AAAd looking right at you.
Yeah, I mean, divide and conquer here seems to be the strategy for AAAd on defense and working out in their favor, especially with quarterback Rogers there. No smite on the cap. Plenty of work put in on this map from him this time around, but Annexus going to try to copy a little bit there. Goes for the Captain America and gets into the 1v1 here, but plenty of shields to hold him off as Loyalty now ticking down to 2 minutes, and yet again here, KO feed going AAAd's way. No smite, taking down Jay-Z. One strategist offline here as that Rage of Ultron from Necro. Gonna be the life support that Loyalty needed, but not enough to stop the rampage here from No Smite. Double KO on the cap and still on the move. It's Rocco as well. Those two in the KO feed so many times. Almost every fight here on Heart of Heaven, it feels like it's run by those two.
Yeah, at the very least, Loyalty are able to reset, maybe figure out a different composition, or did they just hit them with the let it ride, right? Just keep the same composition. Maybe it was where the rotations went all wrong. Maybe it was where the resource management went all wrong. Who knows? Because Loyalty need to figure something out. AAAd, however, have so many ultimates to work with. Closet does have the CYA as well, but Loyalty are holding on to the End Song Inferno, so maybe there have been some lessons learned, but JZZ7 going down is already bad news.
Yeah, keeping that Luna Snow on lockdown
that's
almost every single time. There goes the end
never
song.
mind. That makes sense.
Yeah, I was going to say, there is a dance floor down here. Snake will pick up one on the Ultron, wins that 1v1 here. Freedom charge from Loyalty this time around, trying to keep the team here in the fight. Just 60 seconds left to go as Joey on the move on the Emma. Frost there taking down Mondu. So one strat for AAAd offline. Snake goes over to the Strange. So we're going to see a portal here as Loyalty trying to close it out at the last second. Rocco up overhead in Song Inferno, looking for a target. Will crash down, but under that Fate of Both Worlds cannot break through here. 40 seconds left to go for Loyalty, so they've got about one engagement left here, but it is going to be trouble with Necro offline and Excess as well going low here. Can only get some heals from a couple members of Loyalty, but I don't know, Dan, it doesn't feel like they're going to be able to muster much for this last 30 seconds.
Wait a minute, you might have to eat your words here. Mandu thankfully does come back thanks to the BRB. Rocco does go down, so that's a huge amount of damage away from AAAD's side as Loyalty are moving on forward yet again. We're in full neutral right now. No ultimates are going to influence any of this fight coming in as 10 seconds left here, but AAAD looking to try to make a different approach, right? Only 4 members alive on AAAD to try to, at the very least, stave off the aggression from Loyalty, but with no ultimates to rely on, Loyalty just win off man advantage.
Yeah, man advantage and some solid target prioritization. Like you said, they took down Rocco very early. Big damage potential for AAAd offline, as well as No Smite, kind of the two biggest threats to their dominance on map number 2 here. So Loyalty do manage to cut through. 2:30 on the clock for them as they had to do it under overtime here, but it is not done for this Loyalty team just yet. AAAd gonna have to take a moment to dust themselves off here. That gives Loyalty an opportunity to push up a little bit, but with 2 minutes away, they've still got a long way to go.
Loyalty just need to make sure that they have a beefy economy in terms of ultimates. AAAd do have a way to initiate fights either with the Freedom Charge or even Snake on the Rage of Ultron. That's going to come up very, very quickly. Closet as well, being able to provide that extra safety net, but with Bumhyung actually holding on to the End Song Inferno this time, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for AAAd to win out these fights because they have double-stacked their ultimates, but they essentially had to, right? Because Quasit CYA is going to be easily shut down by the End Song Inferno, but with Bumhyung already using it right now, Quasit gets another free CYA.
Yeah, just knocking on the door of AAAd here, trying to find a way in, but there is no entrance here for Loyalty. Snake, No Smite, Rocco, name a member of AAAd, and they find one of Loyalty in the shooting gallery here in that tunnel underneath that overhead bridge. 1 minute left to go. Again, Loyalty pushing it all the way to the end here, but the ult economy is going to favor AAAd, and it feels like that's been one of Loyalty's bigger weaknesses here. They're lacking, especially in strategist ults, and now they're going to pay the price here. Rocco triple KO onto the Phoenix here, taking down the entire backline of Loyalty. No heals online, and it is just a matter of time before you're hunted down, whether it's No Smite, whether it is Rocco here. AAAd fully in control with just 30 seconds left to go.
Wombo Combo wipes out Loyalty yet again. AAAd still have ultimates to work on, to rely on. Loyalty, they also have options as well, especially Joey on the Psionic Seduction. Bumhyung going down isn't a good look. Gambo thankfully is on the Punisher to provide some of that extra damage, but with 15 seconds left going into Final Fight territory, this is going to be a long and arduous push for Loyalty.
Yeah, just far too early to be getting picked off, though. Bumhyung gonna go over to the Elsa
boy.
Bloodstone swap at the last second. Fate of Both Worlds up for loyalty. Last bit of life support they've got here, as we are gonna go into overtime. But when that support all goes down, what does loyalty do next? Joey's got the Sonic Seduction ready to go on that Emma Frost, but AAAd, again, a little bit of divide and conquer here. Hard to track him down, but NXS gonna find Tuba holding that Devil Beast Rampage. He'll get up right off of that BRB, and loyalty still on the push here, able to hold out, but they've got no ults left. They've got no damage here, as one DPS offline here, one by one. Loyalty go down, back against the mat, staring up at the lights here, as AAAd gonna close it out on Heart of Heaven, 2 maps to 0.
Yeah, although AAAd did win out here in a 2-0 fashion. Loyalty, I gotta give props to them, right? They had moments of brilliance. They had chances to come back in these fights, but whether it be retaining the lead or finding a way to claw back, there were just like 1 or 2 moments where Loyalty just could not get themselves over the edge, and AAAd were essentially able to exploit those mistakes perfectly, right? Every time Bumhyung on the Phoenix used the Inside Inferno, AAAd knew that they had a way to clap back. It was like, hey, CYA, do 40% more damage, Rocco, and then he just dive bombs right in and wipes out the entire strategist line of Loyalty.
Yeah, and then you end up with numbers like this, 43-4 for Rocco, 18 final hits off of 34k damage, absolutely deadly on the Phoenix. So those saves really give AAAd a ton of value here. I had my eyes on Rocco a lot of the preseason too, and I'm seeing basically the same kind of operation here at the start of stage 1. But, you know, it's really, for AAAd, it's really this rapid fire strategist alt comp that they've got going, because between Rocket and Ultron, it feels like you've got a strategist all around every turn. And meanwhile, Loyalty left kind of hanging out to dry, right? You know, they've got the Kumiho Unleashed, they've got Fate of Both Worlds. Those take a little bit longer to charge up, and it just puts AAAd in a little bit of an upper hand position almost every time these teams go toe to toe there. And, you know, I'm with you, Dan. Really good looks here for this kind of refreshed, revived Loyalty roster here. Definitely a better start, but again, still in the hunt, still hungry for that first map win, though definitely coming closer than they have, I think, so far throughout this season of Ignite. So solid looks for them, but it is AAAd that walk away with it. Some nice alt economy management from them, and just looking clean like they did in preseason.
Absolutely. Big win right there from AAAd right now, taking out Loyalty for now. But Loyalty still have more matches to come, so does AAA. But AAA, nicely, they can have themselves a good positive start to their run here in group stage, but it's a good performance right there. I like the Heart of Kunlun pick coming out from Loyalty. They changed it up a little bit, but I will say Devil Dinosaur, ooh, too much formidability. So much presence coming out right there. AAA, just that differential, just having that pressure to shut down any flyers, any just space being taken, just constantly rampaging out. I think that was what was really something to be checked there. Look, they didn't have Black Cat, but we didn't see much Black Cat coming out from Loyalty that could have changed the tide of that. So yeah, you got to be careful when he gets a little bit primal with the dinosaurs. So nonetheless, that's how they do claim that victory for themselves. I do believe we will have a chat with someone from AAAd in a moment as well, so we're looking forward to that.
I mean, it's just the Devil Dinosaur being so influential, right? Being able to secure it one-sided just nullifies a lot of different options that Loyalty wanted to go for, right? You saw Loyalty try to make the mag work, but Devil Dinosaur just kidnaps you and then just melees you down, and there's really not much you can do about it. Joey on the Magneto really was just defending his own team from the Rage of Ultron. That was really the only value he ever got. The bubbles can only do so much in terms of the sheer amount of damage, but yeah, it's just the Devil Dinosaur just literally denying any sort of a way that Loyalty wanted to come back. Joey does go to the Emma Frost to try to shut down this Devil Dino, but at that point it was just too little too late.
Yeah, and especially considering it ended up being one-sided on both maps against Loyalty. They didn't even have the option to go for the mirror, and Tuba picking up Devil Dinosaur, running with him straight out of the gate here in stage 1, has adapted very well to that new hero. So a big player for AAAd in this win, no doubt. But, you know, again, I just love the, you know, non-stop back-to-back ultimates. Rocket's ultimate's been sped up this season, so you see that coming out more often. And of course, Rage of Ultron, one of the fastest ult charges. Everywhere you turn, it is tough to break into this AAAd squad.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you said it best. Rage of Ultron. Ultron right now getting some more playtime, getting some more picks by. He's got that range, it's got that pressure, especially since the change to his ultimate Rage of Ultron, of course. You know, the tighter spread is gone. It's got a bit more area to cover with that bombardment. Allows him to get more heals to his team, of course, more damage to the opposing force. So you gotta be careful with that one. Try to handle something. You want to take a flyer maybe to counter that, but you got the dino factor again. That beam, it's just denying any chance of flyers getting any free space in this current meta that we're in. So that's definitely the answer they went for, T2. But with the big Devil Dinosaur right there getting that value, so we saw that. We got to bring that back and see how AAA perform again in their next matchup. But of course, woo! Oh, we still got bangers today. We still got a lot more matches, you know. How did you, Dan, do you think, you said Loyalty really performed here, really showed up, really showed out, might have a better run in their next matchup, but right now, what have we seen so far from the last time we saw Loyalty in preseason to today?
I mean, at the very least, they were able to make some of those maps a little bit more competitive, right? It felt like every single time we saw Loyalty play, they either got held in spawn or just got hit by one big Eye of Agamotto. Shout out to Soko for landing the first ever 6-man Eye of Agamotto I have ever seen in Ignite. That was an absolute banger, but I'm getting word we do have that interview ready. So we're going to talk about the whole Eye of Agamotto, that Wombo combo that Loyalty just kept getting blasted by, as we're going to go into that interview with none other than No Smite.
Hello.
Hello, No Smite.
Welcome in.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome in, No Smite. Hope you're doing well. How are you and the team feeling after that victory?
We feeling so good. Oh, match start, matching, winning for winning. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're happy.
Quick question, right? Do you guys like Devil Dinosaur and Black Cat? Like, do you guys like it in the current meta?
Yeah, we are maybe I think good at Dino and Black Cat. So our teammates like it this meta.
Yeah, and Captain America too. Clearly, really good Captain America for sure. Who do you think is kind of the standout teammate in this match? Who's your carry this game?
I think Tuba carry, Dino carry, maybe.
Yeah, Dino carry, yes.
That was a good pick. Now, is there another team out there that you guys really want to beat?
We really want to be XXO because we lose to XXO a lot.
Okay, well, hopefully you get that chance to take on XOXO. Of course, you know, wish you best of luck to you and your team in your next match. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Fighting.
I think.
I do.
Ha!
You.